Hi everyone, welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and I'm going to try this one more time. I started to record this video and I started yawning. So I took a break, got me some protein, got a cup of coffee. I think we're good. Again, this is Try It Tuesday on a Thursday. Monday was just too crazy. I could not get the video recorded. Had a small appliance issue that I wanted to take care of, and you know, if you've been to my channel before, you know that it is no short trip for me to go take care of anything when I need to go to town. So, this week, we are going to do an altered playing card. This is inspired by Shona at Shanouki Art. And while my work is nothing like Shanoni's, I think it did okay. So, you're going to need the following items. You're going to need a playing card. Just any playing card will do. You're going to want some book page. You're also going to want either some watercolor crayons, watercolor pencils. I used my Faber-Castell's Gelatos. I hadn't pulled those out in a long time, so I used those. And I think I want to work on a different color this time, so I'll pull that out in a minute. You're going to either want to do some stitching, or you're going to want to do some faux stitching, and I used the stamps that I purchased from Spectrum Art Creations Etsy shop. I will link those in the description box below. I also started with their quick release die papers. They are a collage paper, and I showed these in a haul video recently. So I have those to work with. And I have a couple of pieces already torn out, but I may go back and do something else. You're going to need gesso, a heat dryer of some type, a heat gun of some type, a collage glue. I'm going to be using Spectrum Art Creations glue. And you're going to want to use some distress inks and some kind of a sticker. You can do a floral, anything you want, or you could stamp an image if you want. That would work too. So, let's go ahead and get started. It's really super easy. And I'm going to lay this one to the side. I'm going to put my purple and pink away, or purple and lavender away. And let's work with let's bring in some dark blue and some gold. Let's do that. Let's use those two colors today. So I have those. I had Derwent colored pencils out, but I was trying on something else, and I didn't like the way it worked out, and I'm not going to show you how it turned out. So I'm just going to put these away off my desk really quick. Did not do that before I got started. Okay, so those are out of the way. Okay, so we're going to start with a card. Index card. Now, you might want to go through and distress it a little bit around the edges. That's fine. I also recommend giving it a sanding, and you can use a sanding block, you can use a nail buffer. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz sander, and I'm just going to take this, just going to give this a quick rub, and all this is doing is taking the gloss finish off the card so that everything else we do will adhere much better. And you kind of want to go in a couple of directions and give that a rough up. And then you want to come back through with a towel, clean the dust off my surface, clean the dust off your card, just like that. Okay? Okay, the first thing we want to do is we want to do our collage. Now I'm going to use this piece here, and I'm going to save this, I think. And you want to use small pieces. And one of the things that I did that made it look not so much like I wanted it to look was I tried covering the entire card. And you don't want to do that. You want to have bits and pieces. And I'm going to take this one down even farther, I think. And I want to put that one there. And I'm going to use my collage glue. I'm just going to give that a brush on there. that on there. And I don't want to be, I have to, because it's my nature to be a perfectionist. Whoa, way too much on there for that. I have to remind myself not to be linear with everything. So I'm going to spread this extra glue down here. And the Collage Glue from Spectrum Art Creations is just a much better version of Mod Podge. And I want to get some of this writing in here. So I'm going to pull this out. Just like that. And anything else I do, I can always come back. And this doesn't have any glue underneath the edge of it. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to come off with this just like that. I need more of that glue over here. Okay. Okay, and now we're going to kind of squish up the edges a little bit, give ourselves a little bit of texture. We don't want it being a perfection. Give it some mush. And then we're going to come in with our heat gun. And I'm going to put that on my clipboard because I found my silicone mat getting really hot earlier. That was not pretty. Okay. It takes just a minute, and I can see that I don't have glue there taking that down, so I'm going to come back with a little bit more. Shouldn't be that hard to glue paper down, you'd think. And I really didn't want to get that on my foil. Keep you a baby wipe handy. This is what the dried out baby wipes are great for. When you don't want the moisture, you just want to be able to mop something up. So if you've got a box of those baby wipes that have dried out, don't pitch them. Use them. I'm going to take a little bit of that extra glue off. I want to make sure this is good and dry. I love how that red heart shows through that background. I really like that. Okay, and I think we're just about there. You do want that glue layer to be thin, but you do need to make sure you get around to all your edges. Okay, with that dry, then we're going to come back and we're going to use our colors. And I'm going to start with the gold in the back, or with the blue in the back. And you're just going to give yourself some edges to go around. And then I'm using a water brush. You can use a paintbrush with some water. I just find that my water brush is easier. Okay, and I'm going to get a little bit of that extra water off of there. And if you think you have a little bit too much, that's fine. Come back in with your cloth, dab it off. You can always go back and put more on, but I think I like that just the way it is. So I'm going to squeeze some water out and rinse my brush out because I'm going to use it again when I do the gold here in a minute. So you got that down, add your color, dry your paint. I gotta remember to put this down. I'm melt my silicone mat. Okay. Okay. Now you want to come in with a layer of your gesso, and you're not going to gesso the whole thing. All you're going to do is let it be a highlight in some of those squishies and folds. Should have a brush here I can use. This one I think will work. And I'm just going to come in, and I don't want a whole lot. I just want it to pick up some of those creases and folds that we made. Right there. Okay, now this is where you're creating your layers. Anything I put down underneath that gesso is protected by the gesso. So it lets me build my layers without disturbing what's underneath. So now that I've got that, and you're going to go back in and dry your gesso again. And this takes a little bit longer to dry that gesso than it did the paint. So just give yourself some time and keep your heat gun moving. If you hold in one spot, you're going to get some dark spots. Just give yourself a little bit of freedom to just keep rolling with it. Okay, we're just about there. Once the gesso is dried, we're going to come back in with our second color, and that's where I'm going to bring in the gold, because I want to use that gold against those ridges for just a little extra highlight. Okay. I can get my thumb in there to turn that off. Okay. Whew, gets warm. Okay, now we're going to come back in and layer the color again. And we are done with our gesso. Okay. See where I've got, can see where I've got creases here. That's what I want to highlight with the gold. And right along this ridge, that's where I want to bring in my gold. Not a lot. I want to make sure that I've got the blue out of my water brush. And then I'm going to come back in and just brush that gold out. Okay. And again, if you get too much water in there, just come back with your rag, dab it off. You can come back in and add more of the gold. Just like that. And just work in layers. Okay. Okay. I'm going to stretch that out. Come back and dab it off and see how it's left the gold on the ridges. Now we're going to come back in one more time and give this a dry. The idea with working with playing cards is they are small pieces for you to try out techniques and work with things on. They're basically an ATC, and you can use them as an ATC base. And you want to make sure that this final drying spot is really dry, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our book print and either our stickers or our stamped image. So you want to make sure that's good and dry. And I'm going to take and flip this over, get my pokey tool here, and I'm going to dry it from the back, and that'll take some of the buckle out of that card. I'll flatten it back out a little bit. Okay? Just like that. I'm going to want to try and flatten that out a little bit, because as soon as it cools off so I can handle it, I want my sticker to be able to stick. Okay, now we've got the book page, and I have read there, but I'm going to save it for another one. Let's use this piece here. Now this is from a really old Webster's dictionary, so the pages are really, really old. Bob asked me, why are you buying another dictionary? I said, because the pages are aged and they're pretty. So I'm going to put that down. Now I'm going to I'm going to put a little distress ink around my edges just to make it pop from the background. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to use a regular glue for this, because the Spectrum Art glue tends to be a little too wet for the vintage book pages. So I'm just going to use my multi-glue. I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to bring it up near the top, I think. Give that a minute to dry. And while it's drying, my stickers, I am using stickers that I bought from Maddie at Spectrum Art Creations, and I thought I had more of the books over here. They're right in front of me. I have several styles. I have the Autumn Off Fairy Tales. I think those are cards, actually. No, they're stickers. And then there's this one. Just look at this one. And then I have 3 of these books in different themes. Let's look at this one first, because I've not looked at these in a while. And we have just a couple of minutes. Oh, no, I don't want to use those. We will use these on a tag coming up soon, I promise. I don't want to use those. Let's try these pink ones. And you just need to kind of get an idea of what will work size-wise. That one's pretty. Oh, that one I really love. I'll hold on to that one. And that one would work. She's pretty. There are lots in here. So just kind of play around. If any of these stickers are still available, I will link them down below. Look at that, even some side butterflies. Really pretty. Flowers, more fairies. Oh, that one's cute, but it's too green. Too green for what I'm looking for. I may need to hang on to this one. We have a strawberry challenge. I'm going to leave that out while I'm seeing it, because I'll lose it. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with this one. And put the rest of these over here off to the side. I won't try putting them away right now. I will be back tomorrow with a, what's it called? My Friday premiere. Now, Maddie and I have a trade-off. She has trouble reclosing bags. I have trouble using her technique to separate the stickers. So, give me just a half a second. There's got to be an edge there that I can get to. That's not going to work. Let me put my cheaters on so I can see. That might make all the difference. Probably make more of a difference if they were clean. Okay, Maddie, I have tried your tape tip and it doesn't work. So, but there we go. There we go. And that's it. Oh, no, it's not it. And I probably should have done this before I did that. But I'm going to use my black soot and put a little bit of stitch stamping on here. Now, if I had my sewing machine set up to where I could get to it, I would stitch this. That's what Shona did on her. She did some stitching. And the stitching really does add, you know, the feathering, or the thread actually adds extra texture too. So if you can sew, by all means, go ahead and sew. I hope to have my sewing machine back up and running soon, and I'm trying to think about how I can put it over here in my filming corner to my right, so I've always got it handy, but we'll see. Anyway, there is the altered trading card for Try It Tuesday, inspired by Shanouki art. And I was going to show the other one even though I didn't like it, but it's disappeared, so it must not supposed to show it. That's me in the studio today. I will see you back here tomorrow for our Friday premiere. As of this very second of recording, I have no clue what we're going to do on Friday. So you're just going to have to come back and find out what I get into. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and creative blessings.